gentlemen, permit me the honor of presenting to you one of the oldest entertainments known, Shadowgraphy, or shadows in the wall. For this I use nothing except my two hands. By the way, that's those things on the end of my arms. First of all, a very simple one, the rabbit. Very handy for amusing the kiddies on the wall. Look at his little ears. An old man having a quiet smoke. I'm going to use a real pipe for this. Oh, he's lost it. Ah. A little shadow pantomime.
Magic lantern slides brought the world to life in pictures. The first lantern slides were created in the 1600s, around 200 years before photography was invented. They provided spectacular entertainment and education in the way that cinema does today. The first slides were made by painting images onto small pieces of glass. People viewed the painted slides by shining candle or gaslight through them. The invention of electricity meant light bulbs could be used instead. Electric light projectors created sharper, brighter and bigger images, which meant larger audiences could view lantern slideshows together.
The thaumatrope. We have all seen the round card with a bird on one side and a cage on the other. Spin the card and the two sides seem to magically combine, placing the bird in her cage. This elegant toy was invented around 1824 and demonstrated beautifully that an image will linger momentarily in the eye. The persistence of vision principle is at the center of film and animation and is the reason we are able to perceive the illusion of movement from a series of sequential images.
Inspired by Faraday's wheel, Joseph Plateau in Brussels and Simon Stampfer in Vienna invent the phenakistoscope independently of one another in 1832. Stampfer called it the stroboscope. In England, it was known as the phantoscope. This disc demonstrates continuous movement for the first time. Comparable to film because it uses minimal differences between the images to create the illusion of movement.
The zoetrope, likely the best-known early animation device, was invented in 1834. The device consists of a slitted drum containing animation strips that spin on a wooden stand. By viewing the spinning animation through slits in the drum, the blur of color is broken into a rapid succession of sequential images, producing the illusion of motion. The zoetrope was an improvement over the phenakistoscope because it could be viewed by a group of people situated around the drum. This
In 1877, Émile Reynaud built his praxinoscope. We see the images in the mirrors.
Now, here on my moviola, I have a film that reenacts the story of Émile Reynaud and his remarkable theater optique. Reynaud was a painter of lantern slides who lived in a small apartment in Paris in the year 1877. He was intrigued with the early animation devices. He studied and read all he could about them in the scientific periodicals of his day. Finally, he invented a machine of his own called the Praxinoscope, which borrowed the interchangeable action strips from the zoetrope. But he replaced the slits on the zoetrope with mirrors set edge to edge around a revolving center. Each individual picture on the outer rim is reflected on one of the mirrors. And here, with a charm that still enchants and delights us today, the images glide and flow along with a mysterious life of their own. Still, Reynaud wasn't satisfied. Soon he hit upon the idea of drawing his pictures on strips of black paper. This enabled him to combine a background on a separate card with the action drawings. The complete effect was viewed through a tiny proscenium. He called his improved machine the Theater Praxinoscope. Here one could see a vaudeville show in miniature. Just a simple change of scenery, a new cast of characters, and a brand new act is ready to start. It doesn't matter that the entire performance lasts only a few seconds, or that the strip is made up of only 12 poses. It still keeps you spellbound. You want to see it again and again. But to Reynaud's mind, this still left much to be desired. He wanted something better and bigger. At last, he had it. The short picture strips had been expanded to a long band containing 500 hand-painted slides drawn on transparent gelatin. Small holes punched between each image foreshadowed the perforations on modern film. Each hole meshes into the teeth of the large wheel, rotating at the same speed as the 36 mirrors at the center. Each individual image is lighted up separately. By an interplay of mirrors and lenses, the ray of light is reflected back to a mobile mirror, which in turn projects the enlarged image onto a screen. By adapting the principle of the magic lantern to his machine, he was able to project a background onto the same screen. Here, his actors were life-size. Here, he could almost create the illusion of reality. From a toy in the home, his idea had grown into a form of public entertainment. Reynaud called it the Theater Optique. Here, the people of Paris could view a complete quarter-of-an-hour performance. In the course of his career as a showman, he produced 7 different shows, all accompanied by appropriate mood music. For more than 10 years, Reynaud worked here behind the screen that separated the audience from his primitive projection booth. And in this period, he played to over 500,000 delighted patrons.